assume that it's because I'm Black. But it's not. It's not because I'm Black. The reason why I call it Live from the Black House, if you don't know, I used to work for an organization called Texas Organizing Project, and I did comms. Shout out to all the communications people out there. So I would have to write. Sometimes it'll be fun because we would do some cool shit and I would get to write about it. But then sometimes it'll be like municipal finance or something like that, right? So I would like write these media advisories and write these press releases. Press releases, you do it like ahead of time, but you do it as if it just happened, right? That way when the thing happens, you just click send. See, I'm letting y'all into some stuff. So I would sometimes it would get real when you're really granular, like when you're really into a thing, it's hard to like write lightly about it, right? Because then you just nerd out on it, right? So I would send it to either my Uncle Bubba, his real name's Clinton, but we call him Bubba, or I would send it to my mom. I would send these things to them and I would say, I want you to read it. And then I want you to call me back when you're finished. And if they could call me back and tell me what it was about, I know I did a good job. If they call me back and it was a hot mess, I knew I needed to start over. So then I created this satirical place called the Black House. And it was before like Trump and all that stuff, but it was like the inverted White House. So I would say, like if I was going to Detroit, I would say Black Force One is descended, blah, 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 blah. Or like I would land in Houston and I would take a picture of the taxi cab line and I'd be like, Black Secret Service is in stealth mode today. You know, so I'm like, I would pick fun. So those of y'all that are members of my Click to See More club, because see, I've been doing See More. I've been writing long posts before ChatGPT. Scroll back, especially on Facebook. But that is not why I call it the Black House because of that. So it's not because I'm Black. It is also not because 98.642% of the people that have been in this room have been Black, right? Miss Charlene, Kathy Bluford Daniels, you know, everybody. We've had very few that were not. One of them, Anise Parker. One of them, Laura Gallier. And today, for the very first time on Live from the Black House, I need y'all to go on your timelines, mark this day in history. Mark this day in history. We have a member of the AAPI community. And she is fighting for her life over here. She did not know what she signed up for. She's over like, oh my gosh. We have a member of the AAPI community that is Asian American Pacific Islander. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. See, I asked.
You're doing so good.
Hey, listen. And
one out of one.
I'm treading lightly because I don't want to, because you know, every now and then people play and they mess up. Yeah. Because I done had some white people over here and I'd have to tap them on the side. Hey. Right? Yes, but I like to kid to my right, your left. Some would say she runs West Street Recovery. Some would say that. Some would say that she probably wouldn't, even though she does. To my right, your left, Alice from West Street Recovery. Welcome to the Black House.
Thank you so much. You knew the entire acronym of AAPI and you did not have to phone a friend.
Listen,
so congratulations.
I didn't have to angle. I Googled it on the way over here just to make sure. You know another one that I mess up all the time. So Rain Eatman runs the AACHG, Acres Homes Community, and I always forget what the A stands for. I never know. Is it advocacy? Is it action? But I know the G stands for group. So welcome to the Black House.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. So West Street Recovery, as I understand it, started because of something going on West Street.
Yes. One of our co-founders, of whom I am not, his name was Andrew Cobb, and he lived on a house. And apparently it was a very smelly house because he was brewing a lot of kombucha at the time. Ooh. And the house was on a street that was named West Street.
Okay.
And it was not in the west of Houston. It was in Northeast Houston.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. It's such a cool name, like West Street Recovery. It just sounds
Mhm.
cool. So tell us more about what it is that y'all do. I know y'all are heavy into like disaster recovery. I forget the guy's name. It's a black guy. He takes his backpack everywhere and he works for y'all. He works with y'all.
I think you may be referring to Andrew Barley.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
We love
Andrew.
him. Barley.
Yes. So what do y'all actually do?
So foundationally,
Mm-hmm.
we started and we still are a home repair organization.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm going to take us back to 2017.
Okay. Ooh, right
Of
before
course,
Harvey.
Hurricane Harvey. Well,
Mhm,
right after
okay.
Harvey, in the
Oh.
midst of Harvey, in fact.
Oh.
And West Street Recovery started as a group of volunteers, literally in kayaks, going out to people's
Oh my
homes
God.
before the floodwaters had receded, doing boat rescues. That became doing food distributions. And that became, as we were still waiting weeks after the floodwaters receded for anyone to step in, right? Not the federal government, not bigger nonprofits. That became this very scrappy group of individuals mucking and gutting houses and then actually repairing homes as well.
Wow.
And there was actually a moment in time when West Street Recovery, as a volunteer-led organization, had repaired more homes than the city of Houston's
Yes.
official home repair program.
You know, that is interesting that you say that. So we had a I forgot what we called it, but it was during Hurricane Harvey. We got a grasshopper line with Houston Justice, and we were just on our own. Like we had people who had lights. We had a grasshopper line, which is like a phone tree. And then I think this is maybe before Canva. Maybe Canva was there. And we just like put some stuff out on Canva. And I remember I get a call from somebody at the mayor's office that's like, hey, I saw your thing. Like the mayor's about to go live. Is it okay? Oh, no, please. Because then we'll be seen. I was like, this thing is not like, I don't know what you saw, right? But it was a very scantily thrown together
Mhm.
Canva thing. But I do remember seeing the mayor. This is when I knew, like, oh, we're in trouble. At a press conference, I remember the mayor saying, like, if anyone has like extra kayaks or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, like what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, let me tap into my 7 kayaks that I keep in my
Yes.
closet.
Yes.
It does feel like we're gonna start needing them more often, though.
Well, it does. It really does. So, I mean, to me, that's the best origin story because you end up doing more. Another example that I would give for COVID, we started the COVID outreach helpline again, grasshopper thing. We had people, retired teachers, postal workers. Okay, those are the best volunteers. And we were like connecting because the city and the county had like this, like, do the QR code and go and sign up and fill out the thing. People don't do that. If you don't want my mom to do something, put her on a QR code because she's not even gonna try, right? So it's like, what are y'all doing? So we printed out door hangers and we had our grasshopper line and we would do this. And eventually, like Grasshopper was like, I mean, y'all are doing good stuff, but you're gonna have to get another plan. Like y'all need to, but it was in spurts. Like it would just grow,
Mhm.
and it'd be like, no, we maybe another couple of weeks. We need this much. But no, once again, we were like connecting people. We had a sub grant, a mini grant from Uber. So a lot of people would be like, don't use Uber. They're bad. And they do. They have horrible workplace things. They treat their contractors very bad. However, they gave us a mini grant. And we were able to give people, set up rides for people to go and get their COVID vaccines. And so they would call the number, hey, I'm trying to sign up. And then we would somebody would be on the phone, schedule it for them, remind them, let them know, Tammy in a red Corolla is coming to pick you. Like we actually did that. And
Wow.
little by little, but we're like on par with these behemoth
Yep.
things. And it's
Yep.
like, well, what are y'all doing?
Yep. That is the perfect example of, I think, like these things that are so intuitive about anyone who's out in the community, like out knocking on doors on the streets, like providing these essential services.
Yes.
Like anyone who's doing this community service or mutual aid work, whatever you want to call it, like we understand that just the levels of dysfunction of so
Yes.
many of these government services that it feels like they're not even trying to
Yeah.
like help people access them, right? And I think like what's also so important when doing this work, because it's part of what makes, I think, like the people in like what makes Houston so beautiful is like people do step up
Yeah.
into these gaps.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's so important that like as we're stepping up, we never let it be forgotten that we're doing the job of the state, unfortunately.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I mean, another example, we had this thing, and it hurt me to my heart. We had a thing called Texas ID Connect. So we got funding from Vote Riders. Vote Riders would basically give us not refunds, but they would pay for all the expenses, reimburse. They would reimburse us for all the expenses around birth certificates, travel, to get there, to go to Social Security, to start that process, like all of this. And we were getting referrals. But again, it was a volunteer-led thing.
Mhm.
And so love volunteers, but if somebody's gonna be late, they're gonna be late. If somebody needs to take off, they're not putting in PTO, they're volunteers.
Right.
And so it slowly grew to where it was just unmanageable. It was, and we ended up having to like move, and then it became this thing where it was like, number one, this process needs to move around, right? And we would work with the folks over at Tacoma, which is like one of the DPS offices, but there were structural things that were like state laws that just didn't make sense, you know? Or like one of my friends who just got his license, but he's like, when he got his learner's permit, they took his solid ID, his actual ID, and they gave him the paper thing. So now he can't fly. So now whenever he flies, he doesn't have a legitimate ID. Why do they take the ID?
Because they're giving you that new one.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it becomes like some of the stuff just didn't make sense. And it's wild to see people that are like, senior management just look at you and be like, we know it's bad, but this is just what it is. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't.
That's really the point. Like,
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all a question. Like, I mean, how many people do y'all interact with in your day-to-day lives who really like, I think like we've been conditioned through so many years of like, I was born and raised in Texas. I was born in Dallas. I moved down to Houston for college. And it's like, so I've never actually lived in a state or a locality with like a functional government, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many people do y'all talk to who it's like, this is the baseline and we don't know that we can ask for more?
Right. I remember living in Detroit, and there was this one, they had like a 7 or 8 figure budget, this huge nonprofit that had this like workforce, blah, blah, blah program, right? So I was running for office at the time, and no matter where I am, I'm always going to be like an organizer. Like it's in my blood, even if it's not my job. So I wanted to learn more about the program. I take the tour, I do the thing, place is empty. So I'm like, I said, you know what, maybe, because I'm looking during the day, maybe people are out there at work. So this place is Grand Central Station in the evening. I'll come back on an evening day. Empty. So now I'm digging deeper. I'm like, I specifically know people. I know 2 or 3 people that qualify for this. I'm going to ask them, and I know they know about it. Let me ask them. So for one person, it was, there's no transportation. There's no bus that gets me from where I live to there. The other 2, childcare. Who's going to watch right? So it's like, wait a minute. There's little fixes that you could do that would actually, in fact, y'all have vans. You have vans to take the people to the work site. What if you use the van to pick the people up to bring them to to be able to get the certification to get the, looked at me like I was speaking another language. But sometimes it's that simple. So people that are out there, when you see something, you'll be surprised what just a little bit of like, what if we do that? Just start. You'd be surprised what it ends up being. It could be West Street Recovery.
Yeah.
And you might end up on the Black House.
Also, I do know that some of this stuff gets caught in bureaucracy and like all the red tape of however they got their organization structured. Where simple solutions, where it should be very simple to do,
Yes.
they will end up taking months or years because the bureaucratic process behind having the board approve or having these people approve, and all they don't like. Most of those people don't like to have things different. If it's working, they don't want to fix it.
I'll be honest, and you don't have to speak on it. You don't have to, but I can and will. I don't like working even with big organizations when it comes to like coalition work, because here's what ends up happening. Number one, they have these behemoth budgets. So when you sit at the table with them and you're planning something, you have to be like, excuse me, like bring it down several notches, right? Because we don't need all that. And then a lot of other times it's so slow. If our org wants to do something, it is a very quick and easy decision to get 2 yeses and we're done. These large organizations, when I'm CC'd on something going to somebody's legal, I just throw up my hands. I know we're not going to be able to do it. When I see CC'd and you've CC'd 3 or 4 people and it's national people in DC, they got 202 in their in their signature line, they're probably not gonna be able to participate. Go ahead and start planning it, knowing that this behemoth amount of money that they said they were gonna give, they're probably not. You're not gonna get it in time. Not gonna get it in time. Look, I know. So we know a little bit about West Street Recovery. Before we get deeper into the subject for today, City Hall. What was the name of that show? There was a show. I'm Just a Bill. Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh yeah. I think it was cool.
We're gonna do a little bit of that later, but I want to know, and from you too. So get ready to answer this too.
Okay.
What's your origin story? How did you get into all this?
So my origin, I was I started in climate organizing actually. And I actually went to oh my gosh, I went to Al Gore's like climate thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah, back when he was giving the sort of like big presentations. And my dad brought me along when I was in high school. And I was like, that was also a historic moment because they were like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone under the age of like 45 inside of this room before. Because that was sort of like Al Gore's, like, I guess those were the people who heard his cry, you know? But I was very deeply moved. And then when I was a freshman in college, that was actually Trump's first term. That was 2016.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And
You're really young.
of course, I am. And of course, we were all in an outcry, you know. I was a liberal at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, how could this have happened in my America?
Oh my God.
And so, but then that ultimately brought me into like the sort of advocacy and organizing space. And being in Houston, then Harvey happened when I was a sophomore.
Oh my God.
And so then that got me into climate justice specifically and how these disasters like impact different communities so differently. And it also, I think, grounded my work in terms of like people as opposed to this, you know, abstract notion of like nature. And then I graduated.
Where'd you graduate from?
I graduated from Rice.
Oh,
Yes.
the Owls.
The Owls, exactly. Go
Yes.
Owls.
Okay.
I try not to think about it too much, but yes.
That is cool.
Yes.
Beautiful campus over there.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning. Stunning campus. Kobe used to be did you ever meet you met Kobe at one of the breakfast? I used to have this breakfast. I call it a power breakfast.
Yeah.
And he graduated. He was played football over at Rice. And I think their thing, I forget their motto or their thing. It was like, what was it? It was like a smart thing, but it's for football. I would have to look it up and see. But no, Rice. Okay. That is really cool. So you moved from Dallas to Houston.
I did.
Your experience in Houston started with Harvey, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I think that was like so core to my political awakening. And I think, I mean, it's unfortunate, and maybe this is true of every generation. I don't know. But definitely for a lot of folks my age, like I feel like our political education has come through a series of like natural and unnatural disasters, right?
Yes.
Like you go from you go from Hurricane Harvey to COVID to George Floyd to like Palestine, and it's
a lot of it seems like they're rewriting the game. Like, can you do that? Like, I think about it like this. One of my most recent moments was not turning on the TV, because we all use our phones now, scrolling through my phone and seeing that Trump had knocked over the East Wing. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Because when I was in Detroit, rehabbing homes, I couldn't even put a roof on a house without going through all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, they're going to sue. And it's like, but you can't bring it back. And then I remember, I'll never forget with this last freeze that we had. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. We got to that first day, I was like, all right, everybody, let's just hunker down. You know, we got our canned goods, this and that. Day 2, it was like, okay, what's going on? Day 3, we were all on the edge. I could not believe that I live in the energy capital of the world, that like the city, like no one knows what's going on. Like, are you serious? It reminded me of when I remember I was in the 5th grade and we had multiplying fractions, and I brought it home. It was the first time that my mom looked at my homework and was like, And I remember thinking, is this where it ends? Like, hell, I did it earlier today. You don't know how to do this? And then it was like, oh, mom doesn't know everything. And it was like that thing, and That's So Raven, where it's like nothing is anything anymore. We're in the Matrix. Shout out to Tangi Smith and Alan Provost, who does amazing work. Tangi Smith, she runs the Texas Federation for the People Foundation.
Something close to that. Yeah, because
TXPPF. You know, nonprofits, I like to use acronyms. They just throw a bunch of letters on. But Tangi does a lot of work around re-entry. And I mean, she is like about it. So you started with climate, and I could see how this is an easy, transition.
And I think for a while I was also doing, I was part of this coalition called the Gulf South Oregon New Deal. And that was incredible for my understanding of, it's like what you said, right? Of why are we in the energy capital of the world, and also in an area of just such abundance, right? Yes. Like we have so much land here. We have so many natural resources. Like we have incredible talent, incredible people, except we're still begging for scraps.
Yes.
And that is unfortunately the condition that is uniting Houston with New Orleans, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Puerto Rico, right? Yes. Where unfortunately on a national landscape, it really is our resources are being extracted, and the people who are actually living here have actually almost no access to that. Absolutely. Look at what's happening with Corpus Christi. They're literally running out of water, and 70% of their water is being used by industry.
I went to Corpus a few weeks ago because one of my friends lives in Corpus now, and I go down there, and it's weird because you're going down whatever road that is. They have this beautiful bridge that you see in the distance. And then when you actually get to Corpus, it's a lot of factories. It's almost satire how much of a hellscape it looks like. And then I read this thing because, the Democratic Party is doing their convention there. And there's no water. And then I'm like, now I don't mean to sound ignorant. There's a lot of water right there. So I'm like, what am I missing? I used to play, raise your hand if you played SimCity, okay? SimCity, you probably played 2000 or something because you're younger. But with SimCity, you just build a desalination plant and then you just do the thing. But no, you're absolutely right. To live in Harris County, once a quarter, there's something blowing up in Pasadena and Deer Park. Yep. And there's some hellish plume over this part of the county. And they're just like, oh, stay indoors today. What the hell is this? How is this where we live? How is this the thing? But yeah, that is kind of what we're dealing with. Carisha, or as a lot of people like to call her, Carisha. Do you like that when they call you Carisha?
I don't.
At least they're not using profanity,
exactly.
Right? So tell us your origin story. How did you get into all this?
Well, funny enough, from a young age, I've actually been really kind of civically engaged, or not like directly, but like having a real like desire to do something. Because I grew up a few blocks down from where we are right now, in this neighborhood, and I just noticed a lot of like, injustices going on around me, people being either not falsely convicted or us not getting access to the resources that our community deserves. Cause like usually, especially here in Third Ward, we were usually last on the list to get the appropriate resources for anything. Like begging, constantly having to beg for scraps. And then I think one of my biggest things that really like, okay, something's got to get done is when they turned Ryan Middle School to Baylor College of Medicine, because that was, I went to Ryan Middle School and we were protesting, trying to get that school to stay open, because basically what they do is that they stop investing in schools once to the point where like, okay, you're not performing high enough, forget you, and just constantly let it dwindle until they have enough justification to fully shut the school down. When that happened, again, when we had the trustee, I can't remember who the trustee was at the time, was
it Jolanda Jones, I think?
I don't think, no, it was not her. It was someone else. I can't remember her name. Yeah, it's been a minute. I think it was before Jolanda.
Okay.
Yeah, that when that trustee came up and it just kind of felt like you were lip servicing in school, I was like, okay, no, something's got to get done. We're constantly being left behind. And another key thing is, as honestly, if you walk outside in our neighborhood now, you are starting to see a lot of these townhomes that look the same.
Yeah.
That look copy and paste just straight out of a factory. Yeah. A lot of people, like I knew neighbors that lived in these areas that are now just gone. Because these townhomes are here. So that is kind of essentially what got me like, okay, once I get out of high school, I'm going to start getting involved in politics. So once I graduated and I was actually going to HCC, working at the bookstore. Yeah, that's like one of my first jobs. And one of the canvassers came to my door, actually knocking for Planned Parenthood for the Affordable Care Act. And from right there, that because like basically she got me like to sign up for Affordable Care Act, and I was like, okay, how do I get involved in this stuff? Because that's like you're literally what I'm looking for, to start getting directly involved, trying to make calls and then changes, and boom, I got hired.
Then you follow up, because if you just show up and just do things, and do what you say you're going to do, you fall up. So that is very good. So right now, there was huge news earlier today. I hope that I'm not breaking it for people. I hope that I'm not breaking this breaking news. There was a huge, vote that happened today. Carisha, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So essentially, the vote that went up today was to have HPD actually in their traffic stops. They can't just hold people after they're done with the purpose. And I can't remember the vote. Was it 12-4?
12-5.
12-5. There we go. 12-5 to pass the ordinance. And so with that passing, because Whitmire actually voted in favor of it as well. So shockingly, because mind you, he is part of the problem of why we had to do this ordinance. I want people not to forget that. But with him voting in favor of that, the Houston Police Officers Union actually dropped him as endorsing him. They want nothing to do with him. But yeah, it's interesting coming from them.
When I first saw that, what immediately came to mind, so I tell people this all the time, by the time they're talking at the school board about shutting down your school, it's too late, because they've already like had phone calls. There's a lot of other stuff that happened. Usually when these things happen, right, nothing happens in a vacuum. Before this vote happens, you best believe the mayor's staff, senior staff, and the Houston Police Officers Union senior staff agreed what the move would be before it happened, right? And it probably went a little something like this, right? Hey, the Democratic Party has already admonished me, right? They even took their thing back, right? I'm hanging on by a thread. I run for re-election next year. I've been in politics for more than 50 years. I can't go out like this. Listen, here's what we'll do. I have to vote for this. But I need y'all to put in some carve-outs that you like. or something like that. That's what it feels like to me. It said Whitmire loses Houston Police Officers Union endorsement after vote to limit ICE coordination. The mayor's support for the measure limiting HPD coordination with ICE blew up his relationship with a staunch ally. The politically powerful police union will not endorse Whitmire for a second term, according to its president. That's really, don't they have like, what about the rank and file? What about the rank and file members? Do they not have a survey that they send the police officers that pay their dues? Also, they have unilaterally decided. So then do the members really matter? If you're a member of the police officers union, these are questions that you should be asking, whether you agree with it or not. Let's look at the way things happen. Did they consult you? Was there a doodle poll in your inbox today? Did you get a text? Probably not. Probably. I would be asking, because now you're just giving up leverage. It's not even 2027. We're more than a year and a half away from that election. Now, what happens, HPOU? You told John Whitmire that he's not getting it, right? He doesn't seem like the type to, beg, right? So he's not going to get it. Who do you think is going to run against him? Do you think they're going to be to the left or the right of him? Do your math. All right. Later this year, there's going to be a big budget vote. So every year, could you explain this? Because I don't know a lot about it. How are the bills paid in Houston? And what does that process look like as far as the timeline with the months?
So every year, the first Wednesday of June, the budget for the next fiscal year is voted on by City Council. Mm-hmm. And about a month before that, the mayor releases his initial budget, which is usually pretty much the final word. And then there's about a few weeks to a month where city councilors have the chance to propose amendments, which are kind of just pretty minor changes to the budget. Most of them will be denied straight up by the mayor. This goes back way before Whitmire, where amendments will be denied because they're not technically related to the budget or something like that. Especially because before Prop A, budget amendments were almost the only chance that city councilors had to make their own proposal for things that they wanted to change in the city.
And it's really interesting. So unless you only grew up here, so I only grew up for the most part in Houston, where we have the strong mayor system. So the mayor almost until Prop A, and I would even argue still then, because there's always a workaround, creates the budget. The department heads serve at his or her pleasure, and nowhere else does it happen so in the state of Texas. So you look at Dallas has a mayor. The mayor more so serves as the president of the board, right? So if we look at a school district, they would be the president of the school board, but the superintendent is the city manager that actually runs the day-to-day. Same thing goes in San Antonio and so many other cities. So as we've had these conversations around big municipal items like the police budget, the police contract, the reason why, or even selecting a police chief, right? When Mayor Sylvester Turner chose Fenner, and I got on my high horse, I got on my thing, and I was like, it's not that we don't want Fenner, but can we have a more inclusive process? Can we have a Zoom meeting where we at least pretend that the people had a say? Because when you allow that seat to make unilateral decisions, you clap, you applaud when it's something that you do want. But when it's something that you don't want, now you don't have any item for recourse. So June, all of that happens, and as I understand it, there's a meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
There's a meeting tomorrow in the evening at the Fifth Ward Multi-Service Center on Market. Tell us about what's happening.
We're launching a campaign.
Yes.
The campaign is called the Houston People's Budget.
I like it.
It's taking inspiration from people's budget campaigns that have happened in several other cities across the U.S. And it really comes down to what you were saying, where we are calling out how deeply undemocratic the current budgeting process is. And we're using the budget as an entry point to talk about the big overall choices that the city is making about where the resources and the wealth in Houston is going, right? So this isn't just about how the city is spending its own money. It's also about the massive amounts of wealth when we think about, we're talking about earlier, the energy capital of the world, billions of dollars of corporations' money, developers' money that the city is also not accessing. And then this is creating, via political choices, this is creating a situation where the city of Houston is now $100 to $200 million in deficit. And then the deficit is being used as an excuse to impose massive budget cuts, which will be gutting departments that have already been strained and cutting social services for the people. And so our launch tomorrow is really going to be breaking down like what's happening in the budget is not what the mayor says is happening. It's actually not about efficiency. There's no way to close this gap via becoming more efficient. And also the gap is not the deficit is not an inevitability, right? Like it is true that there has been a revenue problem and a fiscal crisis that frankly does precede the current mayor. But this is a political choice that successive mayors are making every single year that has gotten us to this point where the people are now having to pay the cost.
It started sort of a domino effect when the police officers got their huge raise, and then it was like, okay, then the firefighters wanted parity, through Prop B, and then the county was like, well, hey, well, we want, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, they don't have the money, we don't have the money, nobody's got the money. And if you have spent any time, like a lot of people live sort of cartoned off from like their community. It's like if you haven't been to your local library, if you've not been to your local multi-service center, okay, go to the Third Ward Multi-Service Center and see how high the grass is growing. And you could kind of, when you go somewhere and you kind of see like, okay, there's a little leak over there, like this place is barely being held together. Didn't they used to have more programs? Why don't I hear little kids running around? Wait, where's all of that? What's really going on? You look at and I want to bring it up, but then I feel like I'm getting in trouble. But I'm bringing it up anyway. Emancipation. The Emancipation Park. Jack Yates is rolling over in his grave. And the rest of them that pay for that park. Because the irony is, if you don't know the story, okay, so the slaves here were freed 2 years later, right? Because people they didn't have social media and people weren't paying attention. So they free the slaves, but there's black people cannot celebrate at the parks. So a group of people bought Emancipation Park, right? To celebrate Juneteenth. It was a privately owned thing because they would not let us go to all the other parks. Well, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So there's now a private-public partnership. One of the words that makes me dry heave, because if you know, you know, right? So now, people like Darrell Douglas and Carisha Rogers, descendants of the slaves, can't even do a meeting at Emancipation Park. Have you used their online system? Have you tried calling the number? Have you tried going up there and saying, I come to you, I'm falling on the sword. Please, can we have a community room? Just for 2 hours, right? What's the cost? We'll pay. So you have all of that, and it's going on everywhere. Everywhere the libraries, all the hours are being cut. There is nowhere else to cut. So I absolutely love this. Houston Justice, we're all in. Quincy, if you'll put up one of those first pictures, and then we're going to tell people how they can get involved. But we're going to do we're going to do word association. We're going to do a really quick, like, first word that comes to mind.
You will make me first.
Yeah.
Politician.
Oh, politician. I'll give him that. I'll say.
Wait, what is this game?
We're doing a rapid fire round. One word. There's Pollard, right?
Oh
yeah. Can you see it now? You didn't see it?
See the photo. Okay, I understand now.
Goodness.
I understand now. Okay.
So I'm gonna say strategic.
Wait, how personal can we get?
However, it's one word. Yeah, however you want to.
No, I can't.
You can?
Tall.
Yes.
He's
Let's
extremely
put the next
tall.
one. He's very tall. And he's very fit. And if you've ever been to lunch, with Ed Pollard, he orders a salad. He orders a Cobb salad. Or if he orders a regular thing, he doesn't finish it all. And that's why I'm over here like this. He's over there like that. Put the next one up. Let's see. Carolyn Evans Shabazz, the District of Destination. I'll say term limited.
Is that word?
Yes.
Progress.
There we go.
Unresponsive.
Ooh.
Sorry. Still waiting on a meeting.
You know, and I'll say, well, I will say this. I'll say this. I won't. Put the next one up. Put the next one up. I went to high school with him. Let me tell you, he ages like fine wine. Okay. Why can't I turn gray like this? Right? He's always been photogenic, almost disgustingly so. I'm going to go photogenic.
Pragmatic.
Ooh, yeah.
Uncertain.
Ooh, okay. Let's put the next one up there. He was just as cool too. And
you did it.
Now this one is interesting. Here's what's interesting with him. And we're gonna mess around and he's gonna end up being the mayor. Let me tell you why. Because Willie Davis gets the black church vote, right? Therefore, he gets kind of the black vote. People will vote for him. They'll see Willie Davis. He's a pastor. And he's on Betancourt's mailer. So he gets the Republican vote. That's a coalition right there. He's also one of the people that voted against the ordinance today. And I just found it, and you're a comms person, so I found it interesting the way both sides described what happened today and why they took their stances and why the other. It's just fascinating to me.
Oh, my word for Willie Davis is no.
There you go. That's what he voted on the thing. He said no. And I'm gonna say no if he's on the ballot in 27. The next one up.
That's why I was like, sell out.
Yeah. She's so down to earth. She's so down to earth. And I don't know. I was hoping that she would run for state rep. I was hoping that she would run for, and maybe for Alma Allen's seat, but Stacy's doing that. I think she lives in the district. Your word? Mayor? Ooh. You got to educate us.
I don't think I have a word.
You don't have a word?
No.
Pro tem. Mayor Pro Tem. Or K. What's a word that starts with K? All the ones that I think of start with C. Put the next one up there. Quiet lately.
She was on medical leave for a while.
Yeah. Even before that.
Oh,
it's like this last time. And not to say that she hasn't been responsive, but just that she's been kind of like less out front.
I was like, even before, I think it was, that, my word would be where.
Yeah.
Where.
Yeah. Oh, where? Okay,
yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Well, y'all both started at top.
But see, I was there before her.
Oh,
I was there before her. Were you at top too?
At some point, yeah.
So I was the first like comms person at top when Jenny Goldman was there. So it was a different. Yeah, it was totally different. Jenny Goldman used to hurt my feelings. I remember I wrote something one time and she was marking through it. I went in there to show her my new thing. She just looked at me. You know, she's from New York. She's from Buffalo, New York. She looked at me. She was on the phone and she just crumbles it up and throws it in the garbage. I was like, oh my God. And she's like, start over. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm going to lose this job because I am trying.
But what did you learn from that as a comms person? Did it shape your like comms approach?
I would say it did, because what at top they kind of throw you in. They just throw you
right into the fire.
And so what Mustafa Tamiz, who works he gets all the contracts, outreach strategists. They get all the contracts, the county, the city, you name it. God, yeah. And he was getting a contract from them, like through SEIU. Like, if you know, you know. Like, they were making bank. So he was like she was my direct supervisor, but he was like an alternate. Like, he was like on retainer. So it was like, don't call him for everything, but call him when you need to. And that was one of the times that I was like, she just threw it out. I don't even know. And so I would mostly get that from him. But that was before she became the Harris County director. So Tara Taylor has worked for her. Let's see who's in here. Tara Taylor, did you work under Tarsha?
I was just a canvasser back when
you just a canvasser. Yeah. Lucky you. Full-time people, we got it. We were working 60, 70-hour weeks. But it was fun. I will say we needed a union. But
yes.
But
thanks for all nonprofits.
We did, but
yeah, exactly.
But it was like, I look back at those were fun memories. Like, before you could do all this stuff, these new people don't know about Van. Like, when you used to have to actually, people would circle the thing in the paper.
Don't bring that back. That was and then
you would have to guess. You would have to guess what the person meant. People had their own legends. You're like, what is EFK? What does this mean on this thing that this lady has scribbled? Or you get water on the thing. I mean, it was hell.
That's traumatized. That's why I was like, oh,
when
no.
You just have to
you had to manually enter for every person.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was crazy. Those are the days. Put the next one up. Alejandra Salinas. I like her.
Promising, yeah.
I like her. Initially I supported Dwight in the thing, only because he was the familiar name. Mm. And then when I saw that she eked him in going into the runoff, and he was right, and all the stuff, right? Like, I want her to win. So I'm glad that she did. She's a breath of fresh air.
She's coming out really strong too.
She's coming out really strong. She's really strategic. She's really, I think we're going to look back at this moment. Look at that. I need to blow my nose. Yeah. Someone needed to do something in this moment. She just came onto council. And I think, is it perfect? Nothing's ever perfect. But look at the way that she went about it. And I think that this is like a step in the right direction, because progressive Houston has not had other than Letitia Plummer, right? Letitia Plummer, who was at large, who was there before she was. But I think it's poignant that in this moment, we have a Latina who's leading the charge and who's like, and I think this is like one step in the right direction. I think there'll be many more to come. So proud of her.
Yeah, and like she really handled herself really well. I was at a super neighborhood meeting last night, and someone asked her like some challenging questions about the ordinance. Yeah. I mean, you knew where they leaned, but she handled herself extremely well, explained it, broke it down. And, like he didn't fully agree, but like she like really handled herself well, and I commend her for that.
I think Alejandra Salinas is someone to watch. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be seeing her name. Put up the next one, please. Joaquin Martinez. I first met him when I was working for TOP, actually, and State Senator Mario Gallegos had passed away. And so they were having a special election for SD6. Is that 6? I forget. And he ran, and that was our first introduction to him. He was very young. He ended up not winning, but he ended up getting a job at City Hall, and then next thing you know, he's chief of staff, and then next thing you know, he's got the logo behind him. Words.
I don't actually have enough knowledge on to give a proper word.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
He's very low key. I guess we can use that.
Well, and I'll say like for District H and District I, and maybe G, they're the ones that you never really, maybe because those aren't part of like the greater, like I know Black Houston, so I know B, D, K, right? Any other ones? Yeah, B, D, and K.
Yeah, those are.
That's them. Sometimes J, because Ed is over there now. So we learn a little bit about J City. By the way, I find it very interesting that the tug of war with Ed Pollard and the J City stuff, it's almost like he was carving out a space for him to be like a ward. What do they do like Philly or New York? Like you become an alderman, you get your own little budget, and you get to do stuff.
Right.
You know. But I mean, he got 4x8s on Southmore, so he must be about to do something.
Yeah, everywhere. It's in the neighborhood
pumping gas on Southmore. I'm like, Ed got signs over here.
They're on Yellowstone too.
They're on Yellowstone. Yeah, he's pushing for something. Put the next one up. So we have a District C runoff. Speaking of city council, who knew that this race would get to be so spicy? You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of JP7. That was going to be a sleeper. It's going to be Melanie Miles and Sharon Bernie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got it. You're
old. And Marquia Bordeaux, who I hope we see again.
Yes.
She ran a very, very clean campaign. The next thing you know, it's the Real Housewives of JP7. And it happened here. And y'all had nothing to do with it. But here we have these two. We have Joe Panzarella and Nick Hellier are headed to a runoff. I think Nick Hellier, if I'm not mistaken, is he a real estate guy? I want to say he's a real estate guy.
He's also has some hands in political campaigns too.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he have a nonprofit that, like, I think Mario Castillo used to work for, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so.
Or that could be another person that I'm thinking of in my head. And Joe Panzarella that are running for District C. So we will see Panzarella. Panzarella was actually in the lead. It was my first time hearing about him. I like his signs. It's interesting, like the mustache. Where did that come from? Everybody does the mustache now. The thick mustache.
Yeah, because him and Patrick have that mustache.
Yeah. Oh, Patrick Othout.
Yeah.
Othout. That's who I was supporting in that race. We'll see Patrick again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's put the next one up. I think I know what that's going to be. I think I know what the next one, this one here.
He's trying to be messy.
Oh, my God. Listen, I am so tired of this race. God.
We can do this again in 2 years. I hope you know that.
And then we have to do it again in 2 years. How many times do we have to vote?
Yeah.
I mean, it is exhausting. And we're calling people for the runoff, and they're like, but what? Some of them don't know that they're in the... I mean, it is just a mess.
By design.
And then we're going to be calling them again. And they're going to be like, but I already voted for whoever. Because if you're in this district, like, one of these people will win. But it is very confusing. I think it's also going to be a sign of the times. I think what we're going to see here, they both have good arguments. You have Green, who's saying... Experience.
Yeah, he's like really heavy on.
He's really heavy on experience, and like he's had a lot to do with where we are right now. Experience, and then you have Christian Menifee. Agree with that? What you like? You have Christian Menifee, who is saying, "Hey, let's build something. Let's build something." So that's a very interesting, y'all. May 26th, both of those races. If you live in District C, if you live in CD 18. I hope I'm not coming down with nothing. It was the changing of the things. I actually went to the doctor. I took a COVID test. It's not COVID.
You gotta be having allergies because
it's pollen, is what they said. They said when the thing changes and the pollen comes.
Wait, what's the thing?
Like this nasal drip.
Yeah, because
we had a cold front to come in, and the cold front brings the pollen. And so if you look on all the cars, you see all the yellow little. That's or so they said. But hey, I was negative for COVID. Was that the last one, Quincy? That was the last one. I like this new thing that they do here. Is the light off in there? And then what did you do different in here? There are no lights in here too. It looks different. That's it. Well, any last words from either of you? This has been so fun. I can check it off my bingo card. Right now, we done had everybody in here. Everybody in here. Thank you so much for the work that you do. It is very inspiring. I know at times it can be exhausting because it's almost like you're the big sister for everyone around you, that knows like, hey, here's what's really going on. And they're just like playing in the sandbox and like, woo, it's like, no, winter is coming. And then you have to, I know it can be exhausting to know as much as you know about this stuff because ignorance is bliss. It's fun to ride your bike or your scooter illegally down Emancipation with the wind just blowing in your hair, right? It is a different thing to actually know what we're up against and to be part of the team that is figuring out the play.
Same to both of you in this room, right? Like, I think we all are like holding our own weight in our lane, and that's what makes a movement of movement. And also, I think, one of our big goals with the People's Budget campaign is really just education. Because I think when you frame the budget from the perspective of democracy, from the perspective of like wealth and inequality, from the perspective of like, this is what we deserve, and this is actually like the beautiful city that we could live in, if not for all of this BS that's happening. Yes. I think it becomes like actually like one, enraging and exhausting, but also like really exciting to it's a really exciting like structure and idea to be building around. So I am looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. And I will say, so I'm triple booked. I'm going to stop by there though. But tomorrow, let me tell you how I'm triple booked.
No.
I'm going to tell you how I'm triple booked. Okay. So I have a round table thing that we're hosting. Well, it's for the voter engagement project. It's a C3 thing. And we're hosting at our office. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now we have to make sure we have water and stuff for people. They're going to be there. We'll be fine. And then I have a facial at 3. A facial at 3. There's a place, there's an esthetician who's going to get me right. It's going to get me right, right? And then Shakira, who called right before this, she has a fundraiser for a city council candidate in Port Arthur that I'm hosting at my home, but I won't be there because I also have Zoom confirm calls for I'm doing a fundraiser for Melanie Miles. So I've chosen Melanie Miles for JP7. And so the fundraiser is on Saturday, but the organizer and me, we're gonna have confirm calls and we're all gonna hop on the thing and we're gonna do the thing, right? Yeah. And I have the budget meeting at 5th Ward Multi-Service Center. All of those. Wow. So the Shakira's fundraiser at my home and the Zoom thing starts at 6. They both start at 6. And then this thing starts I put it for 6, what is it, 7? I put it for 6:45. So we're going to make it. We're going to make it happen because that's just the way. Are we wearing the same shoes?
Ooh.
I think we're kind of.
I love. Yours are nicely pointed, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, what y'all see. Get a little bit of shoe cam in here.
Should we trade?
We should.
I would love your shoes, honestly.
Yes, let me tell you, I was wearing a t-shirt and joggers earlier, and I've been kind of casualing it up lately. But I was like, today I really need to. Shout out to Antonio Maldonado, who is all up in the comments. He put a lot. I mean, he put like 12 comments in here.
Oh man.
Let's see. Talk about how the seat was historically black. That seat has always been a black seat. He's talking about at large 4.
Okay.
And then he says he was chief of staff for Gallegos. He's talking about Joaquin Martinez there. J is 60% Hispanic. Yes. District C has always been a female seat. Oh, I never knew that.
Wow.
Oh, actually, yeah,
that is true. When you think back, it has always been a female seat. And then he says Nick was a member of the GLBTQ. And somebody has to bring me up. You know, I'm a member of the community, but when we move the things around,
LGBTQIA, that is
when you move the things
around,
Nick has name recognition. Al Green has experience in name recognition. We have voted at least once a month since January. That is true.
Yeah.
We have voted even last year. I mean, and I'm getting tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting tired of it. People are not answering my calls because they think that I'm calling about this. Sometimes I am. Cheryl Scott Taylor is watching. Antonio is watching. Antonio also says Sharon Burney. He is a Sharon Burney fan. I don't think either of them are horrible candidates. But this is your homework. So tomorrow, if you can make it, are they invited?
Please.
The 5th Ward Multi-Service Center on Market Street.
7 p.m.
7 p.m., the launch of this campaign. You know, we're going to be canvassing in 3rd Ward. We're going to be canvassing in 3rd Ward. And I think this could be an awesome thing to survey around. Like, I love to canvass with a quick,
I love
like
that.
a knock, knock, knock. Oh, no, I'm not selling anything. Which of these 3 things are most important to you? And people just perk
amazing.
up. Oh, they perk up.
Yes.
And then you say, flooding, blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. And then you let them give it to you. And then you ask why, and just let the magic happen, right? Because by then, the clipboard or iPad is in their hand. I've got them shifted for a thing on Wednesday. We are moving and grooving, right? Then at the end of that conversation, you know what I say? Do you know your neighbors still live? Who else do I need to talk to over here? Can you call her? Call him right quick. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, this guy's about to come knock on your door. They fixing the community, right? Boom, you're in. Let me tell you, I could do classes, and I should.
I was gonna say I would sign up for that.
Yeah.
I want to see you at work on those doors. Like, that sounds incredible.
I want to do it. Now I will say I don't do 4-hour shifts. I do 90-minute, 2-hour shifts, but I do a lot of them. I'll do 2 in a day. Got to spread it out, right? I'll do morning. I'll do evening. But those soldiers who can, like you, that can do hours and hours, because it's light and it's exciting. But I'm, ADHD, I burn out. It's a fast burn.
Yeah.
So then I need to go and get my coffee and like charge up and come and do it again. But no, I think that is an exciting thing. And I'll be curious to see, because that's the way you invite the person to the thing. Because now they're invested in that thing. And then after you talk to 40 or 50 people, you could really start to see trends.
Mm-hmm.
Even you start to see trends that aren't necessarily correct. And then you're like, where are they getting this from? I had 12 people to say this thing. And it's like, oh. And then you'd be surprised what the people who are complaining about the mattresses at the end of the cul-de-sac that the city won't do anything about. You fix that thing. You done brought 3 or 4 people who all brought it up. You fix them and call them back. Send them a text of the cul-de-sac with the thing moved. That I've seen that just really grow things. And so, no, that is my favorite rap, especially for candidates. So even when I ran, that was the thing. We had the 3 things. And then no matter what they said, it was, and Darrell agrees. And that's why, blah, 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 blah. He wasn't, no matter what they said for those 3, right? And then it was, can we count on your vote for Darrell Douglas? Yes, right? Can we put a sign in your yard? Yes. And guess what? When I went to deliver those signs, once again, I got some extra signs in the trunk. Which one of your neighbors can I call them?
Wow.
Just ask that person. Don't give them too much. Don't give them a spreadsheet or a PDF or a link. No. Give me 2. 2 people on this street. And if you do it like that, and you got them right now. Some of them would even say, put it in the yard. I'll let her know. I'll take it. That's the way we win.
Right.
Because it's easy. And then now this person is in. And I always like to do things with food. So like we did these candidate dinners. People loved it. Because when you actually, in a nonpartisan way, meet these people, it makes you remember when you're voting. It makes it a different experience. So it's like, yeah, I think the way that we win and the way that we really build power, yes, we need the big policy changes and we need these big esoteric things. We also need to get the mattresses from the end of the street. We also need to fix the senior members' homes in our communities and show we want you to stay here, and it's these people that are going to help make it happen. So this has been fun. This always flies by. We're only 8 minutes over this time. We're only 8 minutes over. I need everybody to give Quincy Whetstone a hand. He runs an amazing situation here at Sacred Stone Studios. Now, I say that every week. I say it. I've been saying it recently. And one of these days, they're going to let me know that my time slot is not available. But till then, we will keep doing it. Thank you so much, Carisha Rogers. It has been such a joy to watch you blossom. Huge things are in store for you. Huge things are in store for you. You are really one of the best organizers in this city.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Right? You do the damn thing, and I hope that you keep doing it. And we need to let y'all need to let people like this know that that is true. And Alice, you are such a badass. I absolutely listen. This has been amazing. This has been great. I had you look fighting for your life, laughing over here. Hopefully this was worth it. Hopefully this is worth it. And I look forward to being part of the awesomeness that we do with this campaign.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
Yes. And as we do every Wednesday at this time, I'm going to channel the late, great Jerry Springer and remind you to take care of yourselves and each other. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.